Good morning, 10th class children. See, we have done 3 units from our book First Flight. Now let us do some of the writing section topics. Okay, we shall simultaneously carry forward all the things which are there in our syllabus. As far as the writing section is concerned, you have formal letters in your syllabus. When we talk about the formal letters, you have letter to the editor, complaint letter, inquiry letter, and placing orders. Today we are doing letter to the editor. You would be doing the letter to the editor in your second copy, and today's date should be put on the top left, wherein you write the heading of the topic which you are writing in your notebook. Be it the devices which you were expected to write in your notebook, be it any other thing, children, or the first copy, whatever the literature answers you are writing, the dates should simultaneously be put on the day when we are doing that work in our class. That's very day, date should be put. Okay. So today let us begin with letter to the editors. Fine. Okay. Now what all things do we need to keep in our mind when we are writing a letter to the editor? Let's discuss them. Okay. When we discuss about the letter to the editor, what all points do we need to keep it in our mind? Formal language must be used. Okay, formal language, because you don't know the person over there. Is none of your relative or your friend or your acquaintance. Okay, so very formally, you would be talking to that person through the language of your letter. Draw the attention of the concerned authorities or the general public towards the problem or issue, not the editor, because he is just voicing your views or ideas. He is not going to take out the solution of the problem which you are sharing with him. Okay, you are writing a letter to the editor so that through that editorial column, through that newspaper, your thoughts, your suggestions should be conveyed to the concerned authorities. Editor himself is not going to solve your problem. He's just going to voice your views. He's just being a medium through whom you are expressing your concern towards a particular problem in your locality, in your nation, in your society. Okay, then repetition of ideas must be avoided. Don't reiterate the same thing again and again. Sub paragraphs should be used in a very organized way. How you would make the sub paragraphs, I shall be explaining it to you just now. Personal outlook must be included, but biased language should be avoided. Don't be biased, don't be partial, taking the support of one particular company and then avoiding the other one. Don't be such biased or express your views in such a way. Word limit to be kept in mind, that shall be explained to you, that how many pages you have to write for what particular topic. Then begin with reference to the recent development, event or issue. First of all, you would be telling him that what exactly do you wish to talk about. Okay, give details of the topic, bringing about the cause and effect relationship. Suppose you state a particular problem to him, you state about the improper electricity supply in your area. Suppose you're discussing about that. So first, if you're talking about that, you are stating the problem in the very first paragraph. After stating the problem, state its effects. Okay, the cause, effects, and then finally give some solutions, that what do you expect the concerned authorities? If suppose the electricity supply is improper, if suppose the water supply is improper, if suppose you find that there is a lot of noise in and around your residential area because of a community hall present around. So whatever you are talking, first state the problem, then cause and effect, and then finally give some solutions. Solutions which you expect the concerned authorities to undertake. Conclusion must be positive, straightforward with a pleasant note, and use of polite language too should be there. Finally, do not ask the editor to solve the problem. He is not going to solve your problem. You are requesting the concerned authorities to take the action, not the editor. Editor is just being a medium. He's just going to voice your views, your or ideas to the concerned authorities. Okay. Now, this was the basic format or the language how you would carry forward. Now let us discuss the format of the letter now. Okay. Now have a look. First, understand it very well, and then through one of the slide once again, I shall be giving you an idea of the format of the letter. First and foremost, when we write a letter to the editor, we would write, means you would write your address over here. So it talks about the sender's address here. Okay, so sender's address would come in two lines. When it comes in two lines, in the first line you will be writing your house number and colony. Okay, and in the second line you will be writing your city and state. Maximum times this address is already given in the question. In case it's not given, then you can write any imaginary address over here. Fine. Okay. Now after this, you would leave a line. After leaving a line, date to be written. When I say date to be written, you have to put the date. You don't have to write the word date over here. You have to put the date. Now there is a specific format of putting the date. That again has to be kept in mind. Now, again leave a line. After leaving a line here, you would be writing receiver's designation. And as we are writing this letter to the editor, so as per this, we are doing this letter just now, children. Okay. Formal letters, more or less all formal letters, the format remains the same with a few minor changes. Now, what minor changes are there? They shall be explained to you simultaneously. Right now, when we are doing letter to the editor, here the receiver's designation would be the editor. After this, you would be writing here the name of the newspaper. This may be provided in the question, may not be provided. What you have to see to is that if it is written, write a letter to the editor of a local daily, then it refers to the Rajasthan Patrika, the Chambal Sandesh or the Dainik Bhaskar. If it talks about write a letter to the editor of a national daily, then you would be writing to the Times of India or the Hindustan Times or any other newspaper which at that moment strikes your mind. Okay, so name of the newspaper, and then here you would be writing the address of the office of that particular newspaper. Okay, after this comes the subject. What is your subject? Drawing attention towards something or regarding the problem of something. What are you exactly stating it to the editor? After this, you would directly begin with the word sir, which basically we refer to as the salutation. Okay, so after this, wherever you would have to leave a line, I have mentioned over here. Then salutation. Now, soon after this begins the body of the letter, which is the most important part when you're writing a letter, that what exactly you would be having in the content of the letter. Now, when you are writing letter to the editor, the very first para would be stating the problem statement. Okay. Second paragraph comes to be the effects of the problem. Suppose I just now told you you're talking about a community hall which is next to your house, and you are feeling very fed up of the loud noise which very frequently comes because of it. Okay, so here, through the columns of your esteemed daily, I wish to draw the attention of the concerned authorities regarding the nuisance caused by the community hall in our residential area of so and so place. Effects of the problem. 4 to 5 effects have to be mentioned. So first, if you would be saying that as a student, you feel that you are unable to study late at night. Second, you'll talk about your grandparents who are unable to have a restful sleep at night. Third, you'll be talking about how your parents work hard throughout the day and how they want a proper sleep, a sound sleep, and their sleep and their rest gets disturbed because of the loud sound over there. Okay, then another thing you may talk about, that next to your house is a hospital wherein the patients too feel very troubled because of that DJ sound or that loud sound, whichever is there. So 4 to 5 effects you would be telling of that problem. Then you would be talking about solutions, suggestions, or measurements, whatever you say. Solutions, suggestions, or measurements. They should be 2 to 3 number. That what are you suggesting them? That after 10 o'clock they should stop playing the music. Still, if even again they continue it, they should be strictly penalized. Some action, strict action should be taken against the community hall owners. Whatever suggestions come to your mind. After that comes the complimentary clause. Complimentary clause means, like in a very formal way, you are anticipating that they should take an action. So an early response is expected from you. Fine. And after this, you would be having subscription, and finally signatory. Okay, subscription means yours faithfully, sincerely, or truly. Okay, when you're writing yours, apostrophe wouldn't come here. Okay, so yours faithfully, sincerely, truly, and signatory refers to your name. So your name has to be written here in the end. You don't have to write your name here, children. Okay, the name has to be written here. And in case you hold a designation, you are authorized. And being the head of a particular society, you are writing a letter to the editor. Then after the signatory, you may write the designation here. Okay, so this is all about letter to the editor. Now, whatever has been explained, once again, we'll have a recap of all those things. Okay. See, whatever I explained you, the format, now it's in front of you here. Sender's address in 2 lines, leave a line. Now I said that the word date should not be put, rather the date has to be written. Now what is the format of the date to be written? Have a look over here. Any one of the 3 to be written. Okay, you cannot write date as per your own wish. You have to keep this format in your mind, this way how you could write the date. If you are writing the complete spelling of the month, you would put a comma. If you are writing the incomplete spelling of the month, so you would put a dot after the spelling and then a colon has to be put up. So likewise, the smallest of the things to be kept in mind. But when you are writing this way, September 26th, then that th and that comma and then colon, nothing has to be there. It directly has to be September 26th. Leave a line, then receiver's designation, address. Then if it's a national daily, Times of India. If it's a local daily, accordingly you would write. Subject statement, then salutation. Now, when we discuss the 4 paragraphs, how clearly your paragraphs have to be there, explicitly what content has to be there. This is to be kept in mind. Opening statement, and through the opening statement, that is through the columns of your esteemed daily, I wish to draw the attention. I'll make you write the opening statement just now. Kindly wait. So first paragraph, problem statement, which would be around 6 to 8 lines. Then you would discuss the effects of the problem. So 4 to 5 effects should be mentioned. And this content would be coming in around 8 to 10 lines. Then give a few suggestions. 2 to 3 suggestions should be given. And that would take your 6 to 8 lines. And then complimentary close. And with this you would finish. Then subscription, signatory and designation. Okay, so likewise, this whole of the letter to the editor would take around 2 pages of yours. Okay, so when it comes to take 2 pages, see, around 3/4 of the page goes in all these formatting part. So the main content comes up to be here in the body of the letter, wherein you have to bring about the variation in your content. Okay, now opening statement. When we discuss that opening statement, you would tell the problem. How would you tell? Through the columns of your esteemed daily, I wish to draw the attention of the public in general and the authorities in specific about the menace, stigma, plight, nuisance, appalling condition. Now, these adjective words vary according to the question. What is the question? What is your problem? So accordingly, you would be using any of these adjective words over here. If suppose you're not using these lines, then simple way you would write, I wish to share my concern about, or I would like to bring to your kind notice. But usually, letter to the editors, we begin with the previous opening statement, that is through the columns of your esteemed daily. Okay. Now, the problem, then the effects and the solutions, that you would have to think on your own. Complimentary clause, how would you write? Complimentary clause means this last part of the letter which we discussed. It is hoped that an early action will be taken by the civil authorities or the administrative authorities in regard to my problem. I am sure that my words express the views of many. It is my sincere request to the concerned authorities to look into the matter, take a note of the situation and rectify it as soon as possible. And the last line, in anticipation of an early action on your behalf. So whatever at that minute, at that moment strikes your mind, you can use it as a complimentary clause. Now, let us discuss one of the sample question of the letter to the editor. You are Saurabh, a resident of Defense Colony. Your colony is facing severe problems of inadequate and contaminated water supply. So you decide to express your views and make the authorities aware of the situation by writing a letter to the editor of the Siliguri Times, Siliguri. Okay, and the letter is to be in about 100 to 120 words. Fine. Okay. Now have a look at the letter over here. Whatever we have been discussing, how would you write that letter? Suppose first two lines you discuss the address. Now here, if suppose the house number is not given, you can give the house number, and then the city is written. In the bracket you may mention the state. Then leave a line, then write the date. Then leave a line, the editor, Siliguri Times, Siliguri. Once again leave a line and then write the salutation. Now the variation in these two things can be there, children. Subject, sometimes you write the subject above the salutation, sometimes below the salutation. Okay, the correct way always is that subject is written above the salutation. But in case you write it this way also, marks shall not be deducted, children. But yes, this is not the appropriate way. Appropriate way is always writing the subject outside the main letter beginning. Fine. Okay. Now, the first para which we discussed as the problem statement. Through the columns of your esteemed newspaper, I would like to draw the attention of the civic authorities to the contaminated and inadequate water supply in our locality. Short and precisely, your problem has been stated to the editor. Next para, cause and effect. It is unfortunate that the local civic authorities do not take care to provide the citizens with even the basic amenities such as proper and adequate water supply. In our locality, water is supplied only for 3 hours in the morning. For the rest of the day, the taps remain dry. Also, the supplied water is impure. It is unhygienic and inadequate. There have been cases of waterborne diseases. The waterborne diseases may break out in the form of an epidemic if the problem is not properly addressed to. And finally, it is expected, like we discussed, the last para has to be the suggestions or the solutions. It is expected that instead of ignoring the issue, the authorities concerned will take immediate steps to ensure supply of adequate and potable water in our locality so that we residents are able to live a disease-free and a healthy life. Now, in the last paragraph, you on your own can give one or two more suggestions which you expect the authorities to undertake. Okay, and finally, a line of complimentary clause which we discussed in the previous slide, and your subscription and then signatory. Okay, so this way the letter has to be written. Now just one more quick glimpse how to write the letter. We have already discussed one more example and one more content there in front of you. Any one of these two should be written in your notebook, in your second notebook. Any one of these two. Whichever you feel the content appeals you, whichever you feel the lines you would be able to memorize, because certain things, no, see, cause and effect, that you have to devise off on your own. But when it comes to the opening statement and the complementary clause, some lines are common. So those common lines, wherever you find, whichever letter you find, you may write any one of these two in your notebook. Now, what all things have to be written in your notebook? Directly begin with the format of the letter. I think in the third slide, we shared the format of the letter. So format is to be written and any one of these two sample letter to be written in your notebook. Okay, children? So give a quick reading. Likewise, see the address, date, then the editor, Times of India. Then in this letter, the subject is written above the salutation, increasing rate of road accidents. And then after the salutation begins the opening statement. Through the columns of your esteemed daily, I would like to share my views regarding the rash driving and overspeeding vehicles, which are causing road accidents every now and then. It is disturbing to see the sudden flood of accidents in the past few days, and all are the result of overspeeding. It seems as if traffic rules are being sidelined and people have no fear of challan or any mishap. They violate the rules as if the rules are meant to be broken. In spite of speed detectors and interceptors, at many places the people ignore them and often jump the red lights or drive at a very high speed. As a consequence, the innocent walkers, children, and old people often fall prey to them. Last paragraph. This is high time when traffic police should take strict action and instead of levying heavy challan, they should cancel the driving license of such motorists. Okay, so actions being stated. I hope the concerned authorities would look forward into the matter and take a prompt action to avoid road accidents. This comes up to be the complementary clause. So, everything to be kept in mind, children. If you miss the suggestions, your marks shall be deducted. Because the format has everything in a very clear cut way. Format, how many marks the format hold, how many marks the content hold. So when it comes to the content, your language accuracy, expression, everything would be seen to. And along with that, whether you gave some suggestions or not, or you just stated your problem and told the effects of the problem. So if the content of the letter is not this very systematic, children, your marks shall be deducted. Okay, so keep everything in mind and then write your letter to the editor in clear 3 paragraphs. The fourth is the complementary clause, which if you write separately, it's okay. And if you write it along with the last paragraph, that again is fine. Okay, so with this, we completed a very important topic. First formal letter of our syllabus, that is letter to the editor. Okay, now please do it in your second notebook. Fine. Okay, children, goodbye. Have a nice day.